Hello, beautiful people. It's Aisha Nicole. I'm back here with another video for you. And today I want to talk about personal accountability. Now, this came up for me instead of doing like the videos I've been doing around the healing of the myomectomy, because I'm in a process of healing and have slowed my life completely down. There's plenty of time to process and to think. Today there's a full moon. Today and tomorrow we're under the full moon in Virgo. So I've had plenty of time to just kind of sit back and reflect on how I got here. I continuously keep going back to that. Like, how did you get here? How did you get in this place where you're even needing to be in this window of healing? I feel like we get so caught up in just the regular rat race of our lives, of just living and going and surviving, not thriving, but just survival mode and surviving, that you lose time. Years can go by. And then one day you walk past the mirror and do a double take, like, whoa, who is that? I don't even recognize the person that I am anymore, because I've moved so far away from myself, from who I'm accustomed to being. So, this topic of personal accountability came up for me because in order to heal and not repeat the same cycle over and over and over again, sometimes you have to take a hard look in the mirror and look at scenarios where you're the common denominator and be honest with yourself. So, Aisha, how did you go from 3 or 4 fibroids to 10? What were you doing differently to make those things grow, right? How are you feeling about yourself? How did you even get started on this journey in the first place? If you watch some of the older videos, I talk about my fibroid journey, and it started about 10 years ago. And when I sit back and I reflect, I can think about what was going on in my life at that time. Now, for those that know me, I'm generally a pretty light, carefree, easygoing, happy person. Happy just because, happy for no reason, happy because I just woke up today and it's a new day. You know, I took a breath. I'm alive, I can open my eyes, I can see, I can touch, I can feel, I can taste. Like, I live in gratitude. And then over time, I noticed that I started changing. I started complaining more, becoming more critical, self-critical especially, um, not believing some of my core fundamental beliefs, like they shifted, right? So then I had to go back to ask myself why. So, first of all, when I'm talking about accountability, this has nothing to do with another person. It has everything to do with decisions that you make for yourself that you are choosing to be accountable for. Okay? It's really easy sometimes to fall into the victim seat. In some of my previous videos, I've talked about how just being unhappy has been like maybe the root origin of me growing fibroids, right? And because I work with women and I offer womb steaming and womb wellness counseling and coaching for people, that's been a common denominator. When you just ask, hey, where are you on the happy scale of 1 to 10? Most people were 5 or below if they were being honest with themselves, or honest with me, rather, right? When they fill out the little piece of paper. So, with that being said, happiness is so important. I mean, our emotions are directly linked to our bodies, so your heart can hear how you're talking to yourself, or hear how you're being talked to in the relationship, or hear how you feel when you're commuting to the job you don't like, or your spleen can hear those things, your liver can feel those things. In traditional Chinese medicine, they believe that every organ is associated with an emotion. And I believe this to be true for myself. So the organ often beyond the womb, but like, one of the organs that you need to function that's associated with fibroids is the liver, right? Because the liver often becomes so taxed and so tired because it's already working overtime for us. Um, with the foods that we're putting into our bodies, what we're drinking, and then the environmental pollutants that we don't really have a lot of control over unless you move to the jungle, which I'm working on. So, um, the liver gets taxed. Excess estrogen makes fibroids grow. The liver is what's going to be filtering the excess estrogen out of your body. But if the liver is already taxed and is so tired, it's so worn out, it's just like, oh man, something else I got to work through. It's really hard for it to filter out the excess estrogen. So the little fibroid monsters are sitting there ready to eat, and it's just going to feed on the estrogen that your body could naturally filter out. It's never just one thing. And that's what I want to continue to just like pound in. Your story is your individualistic story, and you have to take inventory for yourself about your story. So, moving back to accountability, how did you get here? What were you doing or weren't you doing that you were doing before you manifested these monsters in your body? I think the biggest thing for me, like I said, was just not being happy overall with my life and blaming it on all sorts of other things, blaming it on relationships, blaming it on the city that I live in, blaming it on the state of the world and society, etc., etc. Like, you wake up every day and you have a choice in terms of how you're going to feel, how you're going to process your emotions that day, just how you're going to interact with the world that day. So if you choose anger and you choose to be angry and frustrated and disgruntled, first of all, you're going to just attract more experiences to you that keep you in that vibration, because you're going to attract what you think about and how you're feeling internally. So if you're an angry person all the time, you're going to attract angry experiences, people that make you angry, circumstances that make you angry. The jerk that cut you off in the middle of the traffic and made you pump your brakes and spill your tea all over the place made you angry, All those things are going to continue to come into your vibration. So you have to shift that, right? So me being accountable, and you only can do this with yourself. We lie to ourselves all the time about what it really is. So you may have to sit with yourself, maybe under a full moon, because things are revealed under the full moon, or not, and just really sit with a notepad and think about all of the things that are going on in your life or have been going on in your life that you're not pleased with. It could be where you live. It could be a relationship. It could be what you're doing, and you really want to be working for yourself, but you're not. You're doing something else. It could be your job. It could be a relationship that you have with one of your parents. It could be anger and resentment and sadness that you're carrying in your body from things that happened to you in childhood. It can be a variety of things, but only you know what those things are. And you can't work on eliminating those things until you can identify those things and be honest with yourself about how you got there. How did this bag get so heavy? Why did I keep piling stuff on and piling stuff on and piling stuff on? So, being personally accountable is the first step on the healing journey. If you have a relationship that's not healthy, it's not serving you, it's toxic, you really have to work on getting out of that, because it's counterproductive. You can change your diet. You can change everything. You can change all these little things. You can be steaming, you can be eating right, taking the herbs, but emotionally you still feel like trash. You have to take out the trash. I believe we have to start there. There are lots of people that are on here that are talking about fibroids and womb health and womb healing. I primarily focus on the emotional impacts, or the emotional impacts on the womb, and how you have to clear out things out emotionally in order to even begin the healing process. Because again, you don't want to be counterproductive. You don't want to be doing all this work, detoxing, throwing away the trash food, etc., but still going home to a place that you hate, or whatever the source of your lack of joy is. So I challenge you to go on a joy fast. Once a day, every day, do something that makes you smile and brings you joy. It doesn't matter what it is, okay? It could be giving $1 to the homeless guy down the street. It could be dancing in the car on your way to work to your favorite song. It could be dancing at home. It could be whatever brings you joy. And if you don't know what brings you joy, it's even more important that you do this exercise. Because believe it or not, a lot of people don't know what brings them joy. They're clueless. They're just caught up in the rat race. That's a part of you being accountable. If you don't know what brings you joy, it's okay. Do the joy fast. Do it for 7 days and see what happens. But start being honest with yourself about your life and your life circumstances, about how you got there, about how you feel about being there, and then you can start to work on the plan on how you can get from point A to point B. Okay? If you're enjoying this content, I ask that you like, subscribe, share with somebody else you think might benefit from this, and be personally accountable. Be accountable for yourself. Smile. Find something that brings you joy today, and commit to yourself that by any means necessary, regardless of what things look like, you are going to heal. I believe in you. I believe you're going to do it, and I'm on the journey with you. So peace out till next time, and I'll see you on the next video.